I'd like to give you a demonstration of how to clean large aperture optics. That's a very scary thing for many people, and it's quite intimidating. They're afraid of scratching the coatings, and they don't like looking at the dirt, but they still don't want to clean it either. So I'm going to go through and show how that's done on my personal telescope. This is the second scope I've made. It's about 3 years old. It's got a Galaxy Optics mirror, and it's been washed about 4 times. I typically wash my mirror only once a year. Sometimes more often if I go to some of the dustier star parties down south or out west. But the less often you do it, the better. But on the other hand, when it does get soiled, you shouldn't be afraid to clean it. What I'm going to do here is rotate it down and go through all the steps, and you can learn exactly what's done. One advantage of our Obsession telescopes is you leave the mirror right in the box, right in the telescope. You don't take it out. There's less risk of damaging the mirror or getting it dirty when you reinsert the primary. If you have another telescope that you want to take the mirror out, you can do that too. Just lay the mirror up against the wall and go from there. Put a terry cloth towel down. On the Obsessions, you can line the mirror box, or the rocker I should say, with some towels. But the water doesn't hurt anything. I usually let the water just run out the back of the mirror box, which is open, and onto the ground, and the water that does get into the rocker just drains out through the hole in the bottom. One other note, if you do this on a scope like ours, be sure you take off the azimuth encoder for the digital setting circles. The water will ruin it, so be sure you take that out. First thing you do is just get a spritzer bottle, a clean spritzer bottle that's never had any other chemicals in it, and fill it with distilled water. And you go ahead and start rinsing off all the heavy debris, the heavy dust particles, the dirt particles. I do this about 3 times. Start at the top and work down. Now I cheat a little bit. We ran through this video once where I washed it and worked out the bugs, so this is a clean mirror to begin with. But it's going to be doubly clean after I get done now. Oh, my hands get tired. You want to get off all that heavy grit, heavy dust. Just let the water roll off the bottom of the mirror onto the ground. It won't harm anything. The centered circle we use for collimation is pretty tenacious. That hasn't come off, and it's 4 years old now. So we rotate this up, and we go to the next step. Okay, we've got the heavy grit rinsed off the mirror with distilled water. Before I go to the soap solution, I want to describe a couple things. The only things you want to touch the glass are distilled water, sterile cotton, and 1 drop of Dawn dish detergent. The biggest mistake people use is they use way too much soap. All you need is 1 drop of dish detergent in about a quart of distilled water. If you use more than a drop or two, you'll have too much soap solution. It's real hard to rinse off, and you'll end up with a soap film on the mirror. So don't be stupid. Very, very little dish detergent is all you need. Just about a drop or two in a quart of distilled water. And the other important thing is you want to use sterile cotton. Some people use paper towels or Kleenex. They're very abrasive. Most optometrists will tell you not to use Kleenex to wipe off your glasses because there's abrasives in many types of Kleenex that will abrade the coatings or the plastic surfaces of your lenses. So you want to use either sterile cotton balls or a sterile cotton roll like you get at the drugstore. It's really worth it, and I wouldn't use anything other than that. So I like to fill about 2/3 of the concavity with the soap solution. Then you use sterile cotton from the drugstore. Don't use Kleenex. Kleenex is abrasive. A lot of optometrists will tell you not to use Kleenex to clean your glasses because it'll scratch the surface of your lenses. You certainly don't want to scratch the surface of your primary. So use sterile cotton balls or sterile cotton roll cotton from the pharmacy. And you just get in there, soak up a solution on it, and you start in the middle and work your way around. And I'm not pressing, I'm just letting the weight of the cotton do all of the work. Isn't it nice when you leave the mirror in the telescope? It makes the job so much easier. When I get done, I don't even have to recalibrate. I'm all set. And with a big mirror like this, I don't want to take it out. And it's a good idea to discard the cotton, especially if the mirror is really soiled. Just take a new piece and start again. Doesn't that look yummy? And there's the M33. Pinwheel Galaxy and Triangular. Okay. That's pretty clean. Now we're going to rotate the scope down if you want to hop off the ladder, and we're going to let all the soapy water just run off the glass and down, and we're going to rinse it off real thoroughly with distilled water. Yeah, maybe you can get in on the other side or whatever. How's that? You can use a spritzer bottle to rinse it off. I like to just get real close with the bottle of distilled water and just pour it on. You can't get any more thorough rinsing than this. See how nice that water sheets off? That's a sign of a clean mirror. We're almost done. We're just going to gently dry off the remaining water droplets. Again, use a little bit of sterile cotton and just spread them around a little. It helps if you have a real dry day to do this. In Wisconsin, that doesn't happen very often. But the drier it is outside, the easier it is to get the water off your mirror. I'm just going to wipe along the edge here to get the water off the edge there. And we're going to blot up and wipe off the rest of the particles here with the cotton. Little water droplets. Because that mirror's clean, you're not going to scratch it with anything. You can hear it kind of actually making a streaking sound. That's a clean optic. It's a good idea to make sure your hands are very, very clean before you do this, that there's no grease on them. Wash your hands in dish detergent real thoroughly before you start. That way when you roll the cotton over and over, you won't get your grease from your hands on the glass. Or you could wear rubber gloves. The most disturbing thing about cleaning the primary is after you get done and you walk away from your telescope and come back in 10 minutes, there's all this dust on it again. It's incredible how fast they get dusty. But there, we're done. That is one clean 25-inch mirror. Yeah, a little bit of water down there and get off. There we go. Again, the most important things are, don't be bashful with the distilled water, either when you're rinsing off to begin with, and Only use a drop or two of dish detergent, and to be very generous when you rinse. Usually people wash the mirror with too much soap and then they rinse it insufficiently and they end up with a bluish soap film on the glass. So be real generous. I use a whole gallon to rinse my mirror off. The secondary optic's a piece of cake. You take that in the house in a rubber bowl in the kitchen sink and clean it the same way. If it's really dirty, you can actually soak it for a while in the soap solution. One thing I may mention is, you know, the secondary optic is one half of the system, so oftentimes you're better off cleaning the secondary more frequently and not cleaning the primary every time. The secondary gets dirtier the most frequently because it's up where the dew is and a lot of the contaminants, and just by cleaning the secondary you'll improve the performance of your telescope without even having to monkey with the primary. And then again too, if you scratch the secondary coating or if the coating fails over a period of a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, it's real cheap to get the secondary recoated compared to the hassle of shipping and paying for recoating a 20 or 25 inch optic. So I have no hesitation about cleaning my secondary optic. The primary, again, I only do about once, maybe twice a year. That's all you need to do. That's all there is. Hope you enjoyed the video.